Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Hearthstone patch notes 20.0.2. We have a new set of balance changes in Hearthstone. There will be Battlegrounds changes and there will be standard changes as well as duels. I do not cover duels very much. But I mainly wanted to make this just about the standard note, the standard changes. The podcast I am on, Bob's Tavern Cast, will cover the changes in Battlegrounds next week. So I will leave a description. I will leave a link down in the description to Bob's Tavern Cast if you want to check out our feed, as well as maybe support us on Patreon as well, if you would like. So we have got a round of 6 standard balance changes. They will be live April 13th. So this video is coming out April 12th, not too long after the patch was revealed. As we can see, we have our good friend. We have our card Penflinger. I wouldn't say our good friend because a lot of people find Penflinger extremely annoying to play against, including myself. So we're gonna go with our first balance change. We have a change that absolutely no one, absolutely everyone thought would happen, and that is Deck of Lunacy being nerfed from 2 mana to 4 mana, and this drastically changes the playability of Deck of Lunacy in a competitive format. That is the main reason why this card has been changed. It's very annoying. You can coin this out on turn 1 if you have the coin, and that just completely changes the game right off the bat. It creates a meta in Hearthstone in which a card that does something completely random in Deck of Lunacy becomes the strongest deck in the game, or one of the strongest decks. No minion mage with Deck of Lunacy is tier 1 right now, along with some paladin decks, and I think one rogue deck and Watchpost rogue. And all of those decks have actually received some form of nerf, and we will catch that as we go down. I think this change is super necessary and is fantastic. They did not touch the text, so it still transforms spells in your deck. You transforms all your spells into spells that cost 3 more, but they keep the original cost. However, it comes down later, so there's chances that the card isn't that great. There is a world in which it's okay to still run Deck of Lunacy, but it's just not going to change the game from right off the bat. And I think that Deck of Lunacy very likely does not see much competitive play anymore, but it might still see some fringe play. But I don't think no minion mages will be tier 1 anymore. But we will see. We'll see how this change affects things starting tomorrow. But I like this change to Deck of Lunacy. Developers comment. We will have comments from, I believe this is Alec Dawson. Deck of Lunacy moves up to 4 mana, removing its ability to remove a game warping effect on turn 1 or 2. When we create cards like Deck of Lunacy, they're aiming for an experience that allows for crazy things, wacky over-the-top things at the cost of power. And there is a large audience for this, but Deck of Lunacy very clearly crosses the power threshold we set for these types of cards. Very well said. There is a large audience for people who want to play Spell Mage. I like playing Spell Mage. Personally, I think it's fantastic. I like being able to do the fun things that the deck can do. However, Deck of Lunacy creates a play pattern that these types of decks shouldn't be able to do. So they have to nerf it. Next up, we have a Paladin nerf. We knew that this type of nerf was coming to Paladin. It is Sword of the Fallen. It currently is a 1 attack, 3 durability weapon for 2 mana. That after you attack, you cast a secret from your deck. And I think this. I think this card definitely needed to be changed. I like the idea of just changing the durability rather than making it cost 3 mana, because we've learned that making things cost 1 more mana can absolutely devastate the card, and can devastate entire deck archetypes. And this is such a this iteration of Secret Paladin is still very new, and I think they want to support Secret Paladin. but they don't want it to be a dominant. They don't want it to be like the most dominant thing that you can do in the game. And put three, and you can just starting on turn 1, you can just instantly put 3 secrets on the board. And some of them are very hard to play around if you don't have minions on the board. So it easily allows for cards like Northwatch Commander to be playable on 3 for a draw. We'll look at the dev comment. Dev comment, Sword of the Fallen, not only powerful, but also creates early game situations with too many secrets in play. We're moving Sword of the Fallen down to 2 durability to reduce the overall value of the card and make those turns against 3 to 4 secrets less common. I really like this. I really like this change. I think Paladin is still going to be the best. I think Paladin will still be the best. Will be the best class in the game after this. I think Mage will take a hit, and may not be either 2 or maybe Mage was currently number 1. I'm not 100% sure. I think Paladin is very strong. There's so many there's 2 archetypes. In the one archetype, Secret Paladin has 2 or 3 probably different builds you can do. Ones that run Librams, ones that don't, ones that are way more aggro. And so I think that Paladin will still remain very strong, but this nerf had to happen. Next up, my girl Jandis Barov is being nerfed. So I will give a shout out to my personal Amberflight Gaming teammate Neji Boston, who back in Scholomance, which was, when this card was released, just sometime during the expansion, we were just chatting and he was like, about cards, and he was like, I think Jandis Barov is going to need a nerf to 6 mana before this card rotates. And they won't do it now because the pool's not great for 5s. However, now we have a format where Jandis got very much buffed by the pool of 5 cost minions going down, and and I'll read the developer comment just so that way I can kind of play off of it. Jandis Barov benefited greatly from the core set refresh and the rotation of weaker 5 cost minions. Looking ahead, we don't intend to dilute Jandis' pool of summon minions, and that's not something we'd want to rely on her for balance. With that in mind, we are nerfing Jandis to 6 mana, where her total stat output is much more appropriate. I agree. I like this. Jandis to 6 is fine. You can still play Jandis on 5 with the coin, but you can't play Jandis on 4 with the coin. Just the idea of making it so you have to wait that extra turn. If you wanted to play it on 5, you had to now play it on 6. If you wanted to play it on 4 with the coin, now you coin it out on 5. So it's good. I like this a lot. Yeah, I think Jandis is still playable. I just don't think Jandis is going to take over, is going to be the end-all be-all for cards. And it also makes Shadow Stepping Jandis, he costs 4 now as well. So it's nice. Again, thank you, Blizz. Thank you to the Balance team. They have done a great job. These first 3 slam dunks, and I don't think you can slam dunk any harder than this next nerf. Penflinger. They did it. They have made me so happy. So, Penflinger currently just deals 1 damage. 1 mana, 1/1. Battlecry, deal it damage. Spell burst, return to your hand. Developers comment, Penflinger equips some classes with large amounts of chip damage, whether it be to minions or to opposing heroes. This flexibility makes Penflinger an attractive option for many decks, but when the utility is combined with repetition, it takes over the story of a match. Penflinger takes out your minions, might deal 10 to your face over multiple turns, and even had the gall to call you names throughout all of it. Hey, loser. We're nerfing Penflinger to now only target minions, positioning it as a removal option rather than a dual threat card. I love this. I love this because it makes Penflinger viable in decks where you just need to clear through minions. But Penflinger will not be the card that just takes over the game. Like when you're playing against Broom Paladin, I was surprised it wasn't called Penflinger Paladin, because the Brooms were cool, but the Penflingers won you the game. Where you just chip face so much. This Penflinger just allows you to go over every taunt. It allowed Rogue, super aggro weapon Rogue at the end of the last expansion, all ran on Penflingers. Like, yes, that deck didn't need the Penflingers, but that card just took that deck way over the top. So I think this was probably for if we're nerfing older cards, seeing that Skullomance Academy actually has received 2 nerfs this expansion. Every other nerf is for Forged in the Barrens, but these 2 are actually Skullomance cards that got nerfed. I think it just goes to show the power level that Skullomance Academy put into the pool of cards. So that was, that set is actually one of the coolest sets ever made. I really like Skullomance. Besides, Penflinger and Broomstick, I think those 2 cards are extremely powerful, and I think that Broomstick. We'll see how animated Broomstick plays out this in the expansion now. I think there's a chance that the play of Broomstick goes down, but there's also a chance it just goes way up. Now that a lot of these cards are nerfed that were maybe causing problems for Broomstick decks. But having Penflinger be a minion removal card is really great. There's a chance this card doesn't see much play in general, but this card has had its time in the sun for the last expansions. Next up, two cards. They actually receive their comments together. It is Far Watch Post and Morshan Watch Post. I will include them together. Far Watch Post, 2 mana, 2/4, can't attack. After your opponent draws a card, it costs 1 more. It can only cost up to 10. It cannot cost 11. So if you draw a 10 cost card, then it just costs 10. Changes from 4 health to 3 health. I like this change. Morshan Watch Post. After your opponent plays a minion, you summon a 2/2 grunt. The cards, these 2 cards, in different ways, really limits the play pattern of it. They have their own niche things, and I think that these cards are really neat. And as annoying as Far Watch Post can be to play against, especially in certain wild decks, I still think that having these cards be playable is great, because something like this that just makes things more awkward for your opponent. It's annoying, but it's not game changing. I used to think that this card was just absolutely stupid, and I wanted this card to get nerfed pretty hard. But to the point where it wasn't playable. However, I think Far Watch Post, I think I was wrong about that. I think that it's just annoying, and you can play around it. But I think just lowering the health costs from 4 to 3 and 5 to 4 make the cards removable right away. It makes the playing of these cards strategic. Like, yeah, you can coin out Watch Post on one, and you might get sometimes have an opponent who can't clear it, and so yeah, multiple cards get put to more mana. Or you could get an opponent like Warlock that has 2 cards that are cost 2 mana that are run as 2 ofs that remove 3 health minions. So I think this is fantastic. Dev comments, Watch Posts are meant to act as an interesting tech package when dealing with certain game plans. Currently, though, they act as go-to options in many classes, sporting quite high win rates for disruption-based cards. In order to cut their power, we're reducing the health of both Far Watch Post and Morshan Watch Post. This change will make them easier to deal with on turns 3 and 4, lowering the investment barrier for removal to better match the options available on those early turns. Exactly what you want to see. That's all I really wanted, was for these Watch Posts to be a bit more removable when they got played. Because you'd play a 2 mana 2/4, and not even Warlock can remove that on turn 2. I consider Warlock the premium removal class currently. I might be wrong. Maybe that still belongs to Priest, but even Priest had a hard time dealing with a 2 mana 2/4 right now. So I think having these go down in health makes it a lot better. And that's all the changes in 20.0.2. So yeah, I'm gonna very likely probably just get some form of a I'm just super happy about this. I think my favorite nerfs here is the Lunacy nerf. my two favorite is Lunacy and Penflinger. While all of these were necessary and are good nerfs, I think just for the health of the meta, I think Deck of Lunacy, Sword, and Penflinger like were most pressing to me. And I understand the other ones. So overall, great job, Blizzard. And the Hearthstone balance team did a fantastic job. So I will be streaming, hopefully sometime this week. Get some streaming content out. Maybe start doing some highlight videos if I have some good games. Gonna try and avoid using copyright music on my stream, so that way we have games to play. That way we have games to put up on stream. So yeah, as always, I have been Dr. Fish. You have been awesome. Thank you for watching, and I will leave a comment below as to what nerf you're most excited to see, and your thoughts on what Blizzard, your thoughts on these nerfs as a whole. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video. Hopefully, I can get to 100 followers soon, so we can get a custom URL for myself. And yeah, stay tuned for more content on the YouTube channel. I will see you all next video. Peace.